Welcome. I'm Jasmine with another episode of Scope. The economy of Indonesia is said to be one of the largest in Southeast Asia and is one of the emerging market economies. With its strong bond with Papua New Guinea during their foreign affairs agreements this year, PNG can be able to boost its sectors, especially in small and medium enterprises. Known as one of the largest economies in Southeast Asia, with an emerging market economy, the People's Republic of Indonesia is known for a wide range of small and medium enterprises, having more than 60 million SMEs. With its strong bond with Papua New Guinea during their foreign affairs agreements this year, PNG can be able to boost its sectors, especially in small and medium enterprises. Earlier this month, Minister for Foreign Affairs Justin Kachenko attended the third Indonesia-Papua New Guinea Joint Ministerial Committee meeting in Jakarta, Indonesia. Kachenko and his counterpart Retno Marsudi discussed various issues of bilateral and regional importance. The relationship will be able to strengthen many areas and sectors in PNG. However, SME was also a big area that was discussed and needs more focus into this area.
In the last couple of weeks, you've seen on the floor of Parliament that we have passed the basic border agreement, which opens the way now for a full review for all parties to come on board and review the basic border agreement and talk about our boundaries, talk about our trade, talk about our traditions, our culture, and our people. As Foreign Affairs, we were working together with the Minister for Trade to make that happen and to open up the borders, open up the trade for Papua New Guineans as well as Indonesians together.
To commemorate National Women's Day, NCDC held an event where entrepreneurs were able to set up stalls and learn and encourage each other on the SME. NCDC Manager for Social Services Kila Dick coordinated the event and spoke fondly of the women and how SME can be a great boost through women. Mr. Dick heard of the meet between Indonesia and PNG a couple days later. He was impressed as this will strengthen PNG's SME sector as well.
That's a good opportunity for us to ensure that this is the space where we can connect with Indonesia, because Indonesia is a more neighboring, our neighbor, very close neighbor than Australia and other nations, Pacific nations. And by and large, I think that the materials they offer in terms of business is quality and affordable. So this is it's good that our minister is over there to also connect with the space and give the vehicle in order for us to ensure that we access as much as possible the business opportunities from Indonesia. And I reckon that this is the platform that we should ride on. Australia, we have a lot of quality goods, but they are expensive. Indonesia, we have quality goods, but they are cheap for us to purchase and for us to then connect with our local people here and we can sell those products.
According to the World Economic Forum, there are over 60 million plus SMEs in Indonesia. With Indonesia's knowledge in the SME space, PNG can learn a thing or two. Managing Director of IDAN Ltd, Mariana Ellingson, has seen the gap in PNG's SME space and is aiming to play her part in connecting these two countries. For several years now, she has been a woman of change in the PNG SME sector, as she plans to broaden the international trading for SME. Mariana's connection with Indonesia goes back in the 1970s, when she went over as a scholarship holder to study Bahasa Indonesia at the university level. Later on, she was engaged as a young diplomat in the embassy in Indonesia from 1980 to 1983. Essentially, Mariana left government in 2016 and in 2017 decided to look around and see what her real purpose is.
One day, it dawned on me that I should make inquiries at the Indonesian embassy, and talk to somebody who's dealing with trade and business and commerce and all that. So yes, they had a man there, and he called me, and I went there and I took some entrepreneurs with me, and that was 2017. And they told me about Trade Expo Indonesia, and I was very curious. So I decided to go myself and take a couple of representatives from SMEs. There were 4 of us who went, but that trip was a great eye-opener for me. On the 31st of May 2018, I held my first meeting on what the Trade Expo Indonesia was all about. I connected with the embassy, and they gave me a letter to say that I can, promote this event here in PNG. And so I got some materials from them and made this presentation. And from there, I went with 27 other entrepreneurs, all women. And again, that inspired us, and that was where I decided that we cannot go as a loose team, we have to go as a team. Even though we come back to PNG and we go into our own businesses, but we come together as a team. And so, that's how I started to think through building a Papua New Guinea business around a foreign event. And I didn't know how, but I just did what I could from what I was learning and the partnership with the embassy.
In 2022, she started thinking of the business of the trip and what could be brought in and out of the trip. This is when Mariana started to think, design and develop the international business pathways.
The core of the business is with international business partners. Last year, I signed 2 memorandum of understanding with 2 Indonesian companies, the SMEs. And so what happens is I partner with them to roll out a local program on the wings of the Trade Expo Indonesia. So one company is based in West Java and the other one is based in Jakarta. So we have, and there the activities, the key activities there are business matching. So what that means is that the partners bring the Indonesian SMEs, and I take our people there, and that's how they find their partners, that's how they look at the products, they talk about business, that sort of thing. And then the other feature is factory visits. You actually go to see where things are made.
A participant of Mariana's Trade Expo with Indonesia was Goroka coffee grower Delta Venapo. She and her husband are co-owners of the Riverside Coffee. She sees that the international trade with international countries, especially Indonesia, will help her SME grow and extend.
I was one of them on board. We went to Indonesia. I brought my coffee with me. So when we were doing international matching with entrepreneurs down in Indonesia, Jakarta, I do a presentation on my coffee. And I gave my coffee, Riverside Coffee, to our international business partners down there, and they tasted up my coffee, and they were asking me for if I have the green bean, and I told them yes, I have the green bean, and they got my green bean and they cupped my green bean, and like they were calling me Delta. We like your coffee. We saw the cupping and it's very nice. And they asked me, you have some more? Yes, I have some more. And like this experience, So I gave them the green bean and they were asking me, how much are we gonna pay your green bean? No, I don't know. I just bring this one for the sample because our trainer told us that if you have something to take, you take. So I took my coffee, so I don't know how much you guys gonna pay me. And like they want to give me some money, but no, I said, I am the producer. This is my downstream product. So you guys can taste it, and if you want, then I can export. We will be traveling on the 23rd of next month, April. My husband and Mariana, our boss here, and myself will be going down to Indonesia we will be striking a deal now to export our coffee. So this is something where, beyond our dream.
Mariana is planning her next trip with another lot of entrepreneurs at the end of this year to Indonesia and to the Philippines as well. More women broaden their knowledge, and this can make a difference in the economy. When we come back, NCD's transport dilemma. When can authorities invest in a reliable public transport service? The government must make sound decisions on public transport for Papua New Guinea's growing cities, and especially in the nation's capital, Port Moresby. The public's cry for a safe, affordable and efficient public transport system is long overdue. With years of planning and so much talk, little has been done. It's time the city authority invest in a reliable public transport service.
Public transportation is a service that at times can be seen more as an issue, and this is the case in the nation's capital, Port Moresby, where the public on many occasions were held at ransom due to the ongoing strikes or protests by PMV operators for various reasons. It's a far cry for most city residents, a dilemma many may say, but at the moment nothing much can be done, with limited options available for commuters and the general public, as PMV buses remain affordable to many. Most PMV buses and taxis operating in the city are privately owned and serve in the best interest of their business. There is a need for a transport operator to provide public transportation service that the city residents can fully rely on.
19th of April 2022 is a day we have to remember, because we are starting a journey, humble journey like everything, but in a few years' time, we all hope that this EDA bus service will become a feature, something in our collective memory we will remember forever. On behalf of everyone here and everyone in our capital city, we now inaugurate the EDA City Bus.
The National Capital District Commission's EDA City Bus service, launched in April 2022 to assist ease the public transport burden in the city, is an option that can be utilized to extend its services on the normal routes. 5 buses are operational. One would operate from Gerehu bus stop to Laloki and return. The second bus will operate from Gerehu, Baroni and Badihagwa and end at Ella Beach, while the other 2 buses would go from 9 Mile, 6 Mile Saraga Market to Tuna Bay, Taurama Barracks, Vadavada and Manu. However, this bus service is only benefiting a few city residents. NCD Governor Powers Pakop, when launching the bus service early last year, had praised existing public transport operators and owners for providing the essential service for the city. He said to value and appreciate their contribution, they could partner with the NCDC to achieve a win-win outcome. The governor had stated that NCDC would have a specific offer for the owners and operators as they venture into a partnership in delivering bus services to people in the city. But this is yet to happen.
It is a big challenge for government agencies like RTA and NCDC, police to manage when the public transport is owned by individuals. So what RTA is doing is to allow them to come up with the companies, corporate clients, where they can put the licenses given to a company, so the company can manage, which is easy for us to communicate. Service can be improved when management companies manage. So we have came up with this. Nowadays you will see that a lot of taxis are painted in companies. Individuals are now subcontract to those companies. So not long we will be doing similar to the bus services. We have already put up an expression of interest, and about more than 25 different companies, they shown their interest, expressed their interest. So we are looking at that. That's a way forward to bring these buses together in a company to manage, maybe route by route. In that way, to address some of the issues like unnecessary strikes, not picking up, not completing the routes, overcharging, a lot of issues can be solved when we put them, give the license to the companies. So over the years, that was a big challenge for us like a regulator to regulate public transport. So we are looking at those sort of areas where we can improve and address most of these social issues faced by ordinary Papua New Guineans over many years. So that's the step that we are taking, and also we are partnering with NCDC. How NCDC can come in to support and partner with operators, so that we together we can provide a reliable and more effective public transport for our citizens.
The NCDC and the Road Traffic Authority have been called on several times to intervene and address the public transport issues. Nothing had been forthcoming. In February this year, there was a strike regarding the increase in bus fares. PMV buses pulled off the road and addressed these with authorities. The police, RTA, Motor Vehicle Insurance Limited, and other stakeholders responsible for the operation and administration of PMV and taxi operation in NCD met with PMV owners to discuss how they all will work together to serve the people in the city. NCD Met Sup Silva Sika told PMV and taxi operators that they were given the mandate to do business, and when they conduct their business, they are also governed by laws and must comply. With all this in discussion, the appeal by city residents is putting all this to action. Are there immediate plans underway to improve the public transport system, and will NCDC address this transport dilemma as the city's population grows rapidly year by year?
After the break, HR managers in public service converge to address challenges and how data, with the help of technology, can help resolve some of them. At the recent annual Human Resource Managers Forum, Secretary for Department of Personnel Management Taies Sansan raised the point of cost-saving measures, especially from administrative agencies. She challenged Treasury and the Organizational Staffing and Personnel Emoluments Audit Committee that if personal emoluments savings is identified at the end of the year from administrative agencies, can these be transferred to the health sector, disciplined forces, and the education sector the following year? Provincial health authorities was one body that needs it the most. The HR Managers Forum was an information session for HR practitioners at the National Department's provincial administrations, provincial health authorities, and the public-funded authorities.
Department of Personnel Management recently hosted the annual Human Resource Managers Forum. The forum was an information session for HR practitioners at the national departments, provincial administrations, provincial health authorities, and public-funded authorities. Speakers and presenters at the forum were expected to project data central to decision-making processes to ensure leadership decisions are based on credible data. One vital data exercise is the NID card registration for 130,000 plus public servants, which will enable human resources to better process recruitment, leave fares, and other HR modules using online technology.
And so the next step is to have these registered public servants' ID photos uploaded on the payroll. So far 2 agencies have been completed. That's DPM and Nakia. And our team are going around to all the agencies to have this the registration and the photo taking done. So that's in progress at the moment. Our last update as of May 20 of 2022, public servants in NCD who were registered and have NID card stands at 96% completed of the total 7,386. In the provinces, only 39% have NID, with registration still progressing by the NID team.
Minister for Public Service Joe Sungi has put the human resources of each agency to task over this.
By start one time. Deadline do you plan now haram good. Deadline do you plan. All HR managers. June. End of June, you must have all your public servants under you to be under NID. End of the story. Otherwise, you get the marching orders.
Other key areas that the Minister and Secretary Sansan stressed on included the personal emoluments dashboard, reducing public service costs by reprioritizing essential areas and organizational structures. Secretary Sansan raised the point of cost-saving measures, especially from administrative agencies. With the current special GO11 on cost-saving measures, Secretary Sansan said some HR directions may contribute to reducing administrative costs.
So I make special mention of organizational structures or submissions that come through to DPM for approval, for review and approval. We will be taking this seriously. Like I said, unnecessary administrative positions will not be approved. We will give priority to the above sectors only, that's health, education, law and justice sector, and mainly those in the essential areas. Technical positions will be considered over non-technical positions. I think this was echoed by Minister for Health at the WeWork hospital opening.
She challenged Treasury and OSPEC agencies that if personnel emolument savings is identified at the end of the year from administrative agencies, can these be transferred to the health sector, discipline forces and the education sector the following year?
I also want to make reference to the new state-of-the-art hospitals being built around the country. How can we resource these new hospitals with manpower, especially medical specialists, when the PE for these PHAs are being under-budgeted, even with the current staff on strength. So that is really a challenge for all of us. We need to shift. Where we see, essential areas, we need to make some, strong decisions to move.
Public Service Minister Joe Sungi said the public service uses 4.5 billion kina of the country's 12 billion kina budget. He supported the call to reduce costs in the administrative sector. The provincial health authorities was used as an example.
I was really happy to be in WeWork, and when the Minister for Health made it very clear that you PHA, when Kishim is the opportunity also you PHA, now you recruit them all lily or cleaner number, na. Kain ka no line inside lo kuskus na driver number long PHA na you lose long all district. Because the idea of a PHA or a provincial hospital is to attend to serious cases. And you must have specialists there. No one can walk or nest can no tamble lab na kamputi mo lo wet or go no pan mo. This is supposed to be conducted down there at the community health post or aid post. Why am I talking about this? We have HR officers in PHA and we have HR officers in the provincial administration. Who is doing what?
Minister Sungi believes political decisions also create problems like this for human resources.
You can easily compare the priority when you walk down the street in where you are, whether province or 1.5 city or 1.5 town staff. Now you and the finance manager walk by the go, HR manager and the finance manager walk by the go. All got more respect of finance manager now you are nobody. I'm true. That is our problem. These are, when I got into as a minister, I was always promoting this. Money is spent by human beings. So give priority to human resource first, not finance.
The HR forum was conducted with technology being part of the solution to collecting, storing and accessing data to make informed decisions.
We believe that in order for organizations to be effective and efficient, data-driven leadership is important for everyone, both private sector and public sector, and to encourage everyone to embrace data. And that is to reinforce the differences between data-driven, data-informed, and data-inspired mindsets.
Chairman of the Special Parliamentary Committee on Public Service Reform and Governor for Oro, Gary Jufa, strengthened this with a hypothetical bloated workforce scenario where taking a data-driven approach to conduct comprehensive audit of the public service was used to identify the root cause.
Using data to identify the root causes of the problem enables us then to solve for that root cause rather than just treating the symptoms. We need to use data to identify problems, to measure progress, and to guide our decision making. By doing so, we can create more efficient and effective organizations that are better equipped to meet the challenges of the 21st century. We need to ensure that our HR teams have the skills necessary to design data collection and through the use of questionnaires, surveys, and observations, and have the skills to be able to analyze this data and draw the correct and informed conclusions.
Chief Secretary to the Department of Prime Minister and NEC, Ivan Pomaleo, said while there is no shortage to data, it's inevitable not to have data. Secretary Pomaleo raised more questions, in fact, about the kind of data being collected, how it is carried, stored, and accessed. One vital aspect shared with the HR managers is confidentiality and using technology to protect that data.
And I think we need to have a way of building integrity around information that we keep so that when it is released as government information, it is true, it is authentic, it is based on work that has been done and stored away.
The Department of Personnel Management has also been reviewing, assessing and reporting on agencies' performance in terms of their human resources and personnel emolument budgets. A follow-on from the HR Forum, DPM will also be hosting the 2023 Staffing and Establishment Session with all government agencies to be held from the 24th of April to the 19th of May in Port Moresby.
And that ends Scope this evening. A kind reminder to apply the following simple measures to prevent the transmission of the coronavirus. Regularly wash your hands with soap and water, cough or sneeze into your elbow, and exercise social distancing. If you are feeling sick, please stay at home. You can also call the COVID-19 hotline number for more information or assistance. Thank you for your company. Bye for now.